Hello and welcome to this R tutorial. Today we're going to implement support vector machine, or more commonly called SVM, and after having implemented it on Python, we're going to do it on R. So let's quickly set the folder as working directory, machine learning AZ, part 3 classification, SVM, and here we are. Make sure that you have the social network ads.csv file, and then you can click on this more button here to set the folder as working directory. All good? Now we're going to go to our classification template that we made in the logistic regression section. So let's take everything from here to the end, copy, and let's paste it in our SVM R file. Here we go. And now we need to change very few things. So first we need to create our classifier here, which is going to be the SVM classifier, of course. And then we just need to change the title here for the graph, the training set results. So we're going to specify that it's the SVM classifier. Then for the test set here, SVM. And now let's move back up to create our classifier. Okay, so as usual, we're going to import a library. And this time the library is going to be the most popular library that is used for SVM, which is the library E1071. So let's do this. First, let's have a look at the packages here. Check out to see if you have the E1071 library. It is installed on my RStudio because I used it a lot of times, but if you installed R for the first time, then you might not have it. So I'm gonna just write this command here for those of you who need to install it. So install.packages, here it is. And then in parentheses, you put in quotes the name of the library, which is named this way, E1071. All right, so if you select and execute this line, it will install the package. I won't do it because it's already installed, but it will do it, I promise you. So I'm going to put that as comment there. And now let's start creating our classifier. Well, first we need to, add this line, library E1071, and that in case you want to make some automated script that select automatically your library here, because this won't be selected all the time. So you want to make sure that you select it. And now we are going to create our SVM classifier. So as usual, we're going to call our classifier equals, and then here we're going to use very simply the function SVM. So let's do this, SVM. Then let's press F1 to look at the parameters, F1, and here are the parameters, the arguments. So the first argument is formula. So let's add it. So as usual, it's the formula that is the dependent variable expressed using a tilde with respect to all your independent variables, which you represent by a dot. So here we're just going to add formula equals. So first we take our dependent variable, which is purchased. All right. And now we use this tilde here and then a dot. A dot meaning that we're taking all the independent variables of our data set. Okay. Now, comma, to go to the next argument. Then the next argument is data. So, of course, that's the data on which you want to train your classifier, on which you want your classifier to learn the data to make the future classification. And, of course, this data is our training set. Okay, perfect. Comma, let's go to the next argument. The next argument is X and Y, but we don't really care about that. And however, we do care about the type here and the kernel. Because the type, as you notice, there's two types of SVM. There is the SVM for classification and the SVR for regression, which is kind of the same support vector machines algorithm, but there is one for classification and one for regression. So here with this argument type, you choose the classification, and the default type for classification is C classification. So that's the one we're going to choose for type. Let's add here type equals C classification. All right. And now the last very important argument is the kernel. So we're starting with the most simple SVM, which is the linear SVM. So here we're going to choose the linear kernel. And then we're going to try some more sophisticated SVM with some Gaussian kernel. But for now, we're going to choose a linear kernel. So here we'll input kernel equals linear. All right, and that's all. with these 4 arguments, our classifier is ready. Our SVM classifier is ready. So we're going to select the different steps of our sections of our code. So let's first select this one to pre-process the data. Here it is. Okay, so perfect. We have our data set here, our training set, and our test set. So the dataset contains 400 observations, which are informations about users of a social network, including the age and the estimated salary. In this column, purchase here tells if yes or no the user bought a car when the user got the ad that the car company put on the social network for marketing campaign purposes. And so our classifier, as usual, is going to try to classify the users into the 2 categories. Yes, they bought the car, and no, they didn't buy the car.